Hey everyone, what's going on? Welcome to the channel, Tech with KG. Today we're going to check out all the Black Friday deals that really make sense in the 85-inch size, the 75-inch size, the 65-inch size, and the 55-inch size. Hope you enjoyed this format. It's going to be 4 TVs at a time that we're going to take a look at. And again, if you guys are buying a TV on Black Friday, please use my affiliate links in the description below. If you do end up buying a TV, it helps out the channel a lot, and I can't say thank you enough for doing that, so thank you. All right, let's get in with the 85-inch TVs. We got to look at the first one here is going to be the 85-inch 6 series for $17.99. Now, this is where I would start to look for an 85-inch TV. Everything below this is sort of a mediocre edge lit or direct lit TV that doesn't quite stack up to a 6 series for only just a little bit more. The cheapest I would probably go is like $9.97 for that Samsung direct lit TV. That is something you might want to look into if you want to get the cheapest 85-inch possible, and it's going to have a similar performance to every other TV above it that's not the 6 series. So don't spend too much money on a direct lit TV when you can get that one for a fraction of the price. Now we're looking at the 85-inch TCL 6 series because it's like the first one that I could really recommend. The TCL 6 series is a really good line of TVs, and it's going to give you a pretty good value for what you're getting, and you got some pretty good gaming performance out of these TVs usually too. So you have that going for you for $17.99. You take a step up from there, you have the Bravia XR X90K from Sony. This is a really good TV across the board. If you're watching TV, movies, playing games on it, it's a really good performer for the price. And even though it's not mini LED, it does still stack up to other mini LED TVs. So for $2,000, it's a really good 85-inch deal, and it's probably one of the better value 85-inch deals out there for $2,000. Now, going a step up from that, you look at these two TVs. One is $23.99, that is the QN85B, and then the other one is $27.99, that is the QN90B. So the biggest difference between those two is that the QN90B will be brighter than the QN85B in those highlights. When they are side by side though, most scenes look pretty identical across the board, and since the 85-inch is a VA panel, this will especially be true. It'll look very similar to the QN90B, so if you really just need that extra bit of brightness from highlights, you will see the difference in the QN90B. But if you're trying to save some money, the QN85B is not a bad way to go. But again, if you are in a very bright room in the daytime situation, the QN90B is going to be the one you want to go with for the best 85-inch daylight TV. All right, now we're taking a look at the 75-inch TVs, and this is going to be the price bracket that is $1,000 and under. And then afterwards, I will go $2,000 and under. But for $1,000 and under at the 75-inch size, the cheapest I would go here is going to be the 690T. This is going to be a really good value for the money in terms of the TV performance. It's going to match most of the other direct lit and edge lit TVs out there. Really, edge lit and direct lit TVs of this caliber are usually very similar across the board regardless of brand. I ended up choosing this one because the deal was actually pretty good. Now, going up from there, you are getting a step up in the TV technology. You got local dimming for $6.99 and $7.99 with the U6H and the 5 series from TCL. These are really similar TVs. I would just do some research on them and see which one fits you better. All right, taking a look at the 75-inch size under $2,000, we have to look at the X90K. Like I mentioned with the 85-inch, this is a really good TV. Same thing with the 6 series for $14.99. These are the same price, and then you also have the U8H, which is the same price as the TCL 6 series. The TCL 6 series and the U8H is going to be very similar performers. The U8H is going to be slightly brighter and is going to give you a better movie and TV show watching experience with the local dimming performance, but in-game mode is probably going to be a worse experience for you because there has been some reported instances of posterization in game mode, as well as the resolution being cut in half at 4K 120 Hz. That would be a big problem for gamers. So if you're gaming, look at one of the first two TVs that I mentioned here. All right, now we're looking at the 75-inch TVs under $3,500, and we're going to start off with the QN90B. This is going to be a situation where you are in a bright room. You're getting the QN90B here every time. You're not going to want to get an OLED TV if you are in a very bright room. If you're in a dark room, you're going to likely want to be looking at both of these OLED TVs here in the center. These are really good performers. The C2 is $24.99, so that kind of edges out the A80K for most people. I think unless you really want that Sony performance and some of the Sony processing features that you get, you're watching mainly movies and TV shows, then you can consider the A80K. But if you are a gamer, maybe you want all 4 HDMI 2.1 ports, then the C2 will be something you want to look into a little bit more. Now, I only put the G2 on here for people that want that extra bit of brightness. I don't necessarily think this is a great deal because the price difference between the C2 and the G2 is massive in comparison, and really I don't see a huge value there. But if you want that extra bit of brightness from the G2, you can get it. I will say in most regular scenes though, the G2 and the C2 don't really separate as much as you would hope. So I do think the C2 is probably the best bang for your buck here. Unless you are in a bright room, then you get the QN90B. All right, taking a look at the 65-inch under $1,000 here. We see a lot of the same competitors that we've seen in the 75-inch, so I won't speak too much on those, but I do want to mention that if you can find the 65-inch 6 series for $599, this is a really good deal, and it's probably going to be one of the better deals in this price bracket. So if you can find this TV, it's a really good performer for the price, and I would scoop it up right away if you have a chance to. Now, between the three that we're talking about, again, this goes back to what we were talking about with the 75-inch, so I'll just leave it at that. You pick the one you like the most out of those. All right, looking at the 65-inch under $2,000, we see 4 really good TVs here, and of these 4 TVs, the one that sticks out the most to me is going to be the 65-inch C1 for $12.99. In terms of a really good deal, this is definitely one of them. $12.99 for a 65-inch OLED of this caliber is really, really great. So if you have a chance to pick this up and you need a 65-inch TV, you're not trying to break the bank too much, the C1 will satisfy you a lot. Now, when we go up from there, we look at the QN90B and the C2 and the S95B. The only way I would buy the QN90B is if you are in a very, very bright room. Otherwise, you're going to want to get the S95B instead. And the only reason you would get the C2 over the S95B is if you specifically wanted a more accurate game mode. If you don't want that, I'm telling you the 65-inch S95B will be the best bang for your buck in terms of value, in terms of performance, in terms of picture quality. It is the brightest OLED out there, and it does deliver the most picture pop when it comes to any 65-inch TV on the market. All right, going under $1,000 for the 55-inch size. Again, we see these 3 TVs, the U8H, the TCL6 series, and the X90K, all around the same prices. But this time, I think the 55-inch market, you're looking at the U8H or the TCL6 series for the better value. And it's going to be a choice that you have to make from there. Now, the thing I want to point out with this is the $199 TCL5 series. This is going to be the best deal for a 55-inch TV under $500. So if you can find this TV, $199 for a 55-inch TCL5 series is an absolute steal, and you should go ahead and pick it up if that is your price. All right, now we're looking at the 55-inch under $2,000. Same kind of deal like we talked about with the 65-inch TVs. The 55-inch, you can echo the same sort of statements. And I forgot to mention with the 65-inch TVs that the A80K is included for the same price as the C2, but I just didn't have enough room for it on here. And I would only choose the A80K if you specifically wanted Sony features. Otherwise, again, the S95B is in a league of its own amongst these 3 TVs here. And the C2 is for gamers that desire that accurate look in gaming. Now, I threw the 55-inch B2 on here for $999 because if you buy it, it comes with a $100 gift card. So you would be getting this TV for $1,000 and you get $100 to spend on whatever you want. I think that's a really good deal. And the B2 is underlooked in my opinion because the issues with it is going to be maybe some posterization more than the C2, but this could be fixed with smooth gradation. The only thing that can't fix this is game mode. Game mode smooth gradation doesn't work, so maybe you'll run into some issues there. But the difference in price could matter to some people, so I did want to put it on here because I don't think it's a bad choice at all. And I've seen people say this is a bad choice, just get the C2, but not everybody is going to just be able to pony up $300 more to get a TV that's going to perform very similarly to them. And in their eyes, it might look almost identical. And if these two TVs are side by side, you really have to be pixel peeping to be able to tell the difference between them. All right, now we have to go over the 48-inch size, and there's not really a lot here, but the 48-inch A2 is going to be the one you get if you don't really care about 120 hertz. It's a fantastic deal, $570. If you do need 120 hertz with that 4K gaming at 120 hertz, then it's going to be one of these two right here. If you're in a bright room, the QN90B, but it is a little bit more pricier. So I would just recommend that if you are a gamer and you have a way to control your light, that C2 48-inch is going to be really good for the situation that you put it in. If you use it as a computer monitor, it's really good. I use a 48-inch C1. I like it a lot. And for $1049, the C2 is highly recommended. So I would recommend you guys to pick that up if you are looking for this size. But again, I have to stress, if you don't need 120 hertz, get the A2. All right, well, hopefully this video helped you out in picking your next TV. And again, if you are shopping for your next TV, please use the links in the description below. It helps out the channel so much. Thank you guys again for watching. If you want to watch more videos on Black Friday, check out this one right here.